Remember the 80s? Neon lights, pulsating, synth pop, and big, gravity-defying hair. But what was real life truly like for an American teenager back then? The 1980s, as often portrayed in movies, TV shows, and music videos, tend to be idealized, a vibrant, carefree era of excess and iconic style. Yet behind the flashy facade, there was a rich tapestry of daily experiences, anxieties, and genuine moments that shaped an entire generation. This video promises to take you beyond the superficial gleam and into the authentic heart of 80s teenage life. We'll explore the real stories, the everyday realities, and the profound cultural shifts that defined what it meant to grow up during this incredible decade. From the unique fashion trends that made a bold statement to the underlying worries about the future, we'll peel back the layers to reveal a more nuanced and personal history. Get ready for a captivating journey back in time, one that's not just filled with nostalgia, but also with surprising insights. We'll touch upon their lives at school, their forms of entertainment, the nascent technology they encountered, and the social pressures they navigated. This isn't just about reliving memories, it's about understanding a pivotal era through the eyes of those who lived it. Prepare to rediscover the 80s in a way you never expected. Stepping into an American high school in the 1980s felt like entering a different world compared to today. Picture the vibrant chaos, bustling hallways filled with the clatter of lockers and the murmur of conversations. Classrooms dominated by blackboards and textbooks, not widespread computers or the omnipresent internet. Learning was a more analog experience, relying heavily on pen and paper, encyclopedias, and direct interaction with teachers. Gym class was a sweaty, competitive arena, and the library was a quiet sanctuary of actual books. Extracurricular activities were the lifeblood of high school social calendars. Sports reigned supreme, with Friday night lights shining on packed football stadiums and basketball games drawing fervent crowds. Beyond athletics, clubs like drama, debate, and the school newspaper provided outlets for diverse talents, while cheerleading squads rallied. School spirit with impressive routines. Academic pressures, while present, felt different. There was less emphasis on hyper-competitive college admissions, and more on simply doing your best and exploring your interests. Though peer pressure remained a constant, the social landscape of high 80s high schools was famously defined by cliques. These distinct social groups shaped identity and dictated interactions, a phenomenon often exaggerated but undeniably real. You had the jocks often seen on the football field, the nerds holed up in the library or computer lab, the preppies sporting their designer labels, the goths embracing dark aesthetics, and the punks challenging norms with their rebellious style. These groups, while sometimes clashing, largely provided a sense of belonging and identity. Iconic films of the era, like The Breakfast Club, perfectly captured this intricate social hierarchy, demonstrating how these labels both defined and confined teenagers. Communication, especially outside of school, was a stark contrast to today's digital age. Forget smartphones and instant messaging. Life revolved around the landline phone. Endless hours were spent tethered to the kitchen wall or, if you were lucky, a cordless phone with a ridiculously long cord, allowing for whispered private conversation. The family phone was a constant source of negotiation and phone wars among siblings. Secret messages were passed in class via handwritten notes, meticulously folded and passed down rows. The fundamental difference was the absence of social media. There was no endless scrolling, no public profiles, and no constant digital connection. Instead, social connection blossomed in physical spaces. House parties were a staple, often unsupervised and legendary. Teenagers gathered at malls, which served as central hubs for shopping, flirting. Movie theaters were packed, offering shared escapism, while arcades buzzed with the sounds of Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and Space Invaders, offering competitive fun and a place to simply hang out. These communal spaces were vital for forging friendships and navigating the complexities of adolescence. Here's the hidden truth. The lack of screens fostered a different kind of social intelligence. Teenagers were forced to develop stronger face-to-face communication skills and navigate relationships directly, without the mediation of digital avatars. This created a unique form of bonding, a deeper sense of community, and a reliance on immediate, tangible interactions that fundamentally differentiates this generation's social development from those that followed. It was an era where connections were built on shared physical presence, not virtual ones. In the 1980s, entertainment wasn't just a pastime. It was the vibrant, pulsating heart of teenage life, deeply intertwined with the explosion of pop culture. And at its very core, music was king. The undisputed monarch of this musical revolution was MTV. Launched in 1981, this music television channel wasn't just a network, it was a cultural phenomenon. It single-handedly transformed how music was consumed, visually shaping not only sounds but also fashion, attitudes, and lifestyles. Music videos became miniature cinematic masterpieces, creating global superstars and dictating trends. Suddenly, you didn't just listen to your favorite artists, you watched them, dressed like them, and emulated their swagger. The decade's soundscape was incredibly diverse. Pop music reigned supreme, with iconic figures like Michael Jackson thrilling the world with his moonwalk, and groundbreaking videos, and Madonna pushing boundaries with her fearless style and catchy anthems. The airwaves also rocked with hair metal bands like Bon Jovi and Guns N' Roses, their power ballads and big hair dominating arenas. New wave acts such as Duran Duran and Daha brought synth-driven melodies and sharp aesthetics, while early hip-hop began to emerge from the underground, laying the groundwork for a cultural revolution. Personal music consumption was revolutionized by the Walkman. This portable cassette player became an instant symbol of individual expression, allowing teenagers to carry their soundtracks everywhere. Cassette decks were central to home entertainment, used for recording songs off the radio or making custom mixtapes for friends and crushes. And for the audiophiles, vinyl records offered the purest sound experience, with record stores serving as essential gathering places for discovering new artists and debating the merits of different albums. Movies and TV provided shared experiences and escapism. The 80s were the golden age of the teen film, largely thanks to director John Hughes. His classics like The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and 16 Candles perfectly captured the angst, humor, and complex social dynamics of high school life, becoming defining cinematic touchstones for a generation. Adventure films like E.T., The Extraterrestrial, The Goonies, and Back to the Future fueled imaginations with tales of wonder and daring. The decade also saw the rise of teen horror franchises such as Friday the 13th and A Nightmare on Elm Street, providing thrilling scares and jump scares for slumber parties. At home, family sitcoms and Saturday morning cartoons were mandatory viewing, offering comfort and laughter. Technology, while not as pervasive as today, was making its mark. Arcades were loud, brightly lit social hubs, brimming with the cacophony of Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, and Space Invaders. They were places of intense competition, strategic alliances, and triumphant high scores. The arrival of home video game consoles like the Atari and, later, the revolutionary Nintendo Entertainment System moved gaming into living rooms, forever changing home entertainment. Early personal computers like the Commodore 64 and Apple IE also began to appear, though they were still far from commonplace household items, primarily used for basic programming or educational games. And then there was iconic fashion. The 80s were about making a statement. Ripped jeans, denim jackets, leather jackets, neon-colored leggings, oversized blazers with shoulder pads, big permed hair, and headbands. Fashion trends were heavily influenced by the decade's pop stars and movie characters, creating a bold, eclectic, and often unforgettable style. Here's the hidden truth about 80s entertainment. It wasn't just about passive consumption. It was about active participation and physical interaction. From the social energy of arcades to shared movie experiences with friends and the meticulous process of making it fostered a unique kind of community and shared experience that is less common in today's individualized, screen-based entertainment landscape. It was a time when entertainment brought people together in tangible, memorable ways. Beneath the vibrant surface of 80s pop culture, American teenagers navigated a complex landscape of social pressures, anxieties, and aspirations. Much like any generation, their struggles and dreams, though shaped by their unique era, were fundamentally human. Social and familial pressures were ever present. Relationships with parents often involved navigating generational divides, with contrasting views on music, fashion, and lifestyle leading to lively debate. Friendships, unmediated by constant digital presence, were forged and tested through direct interaction, making peer pressure a palpable force. First loves, whether innocent or complicated, unfolded without the immediate documentation of social media, relying on whispered conversations and shared glances. Many teenagers also experienced the responsibility of after-school jobs, working in retail stores or supermarkets. This early exposure to earning and managing money instilled a sense of independence and financial literacy at a younger age than is common today. Beyond personal challenges, the looming shadow of global anxieties shaped their perception of the future. The Cold War cast a constant, if often vague, threat of nuclear conflict. Memories of duck and cover drills in school, though sometimes treated with gallows humor, underscored a pervasive unease about global stability. The emergence and rapid spread of the AIDS epidemic in the 1980s introduced a new, terrifying dimension to health and sexuality, fundamentally altering conversations about safe practices and personal responsibility. Furthermore, the decade saw heightened awareness of drug issues, with prominent anti-drug campaigns like Just Say No, attempting to curb substance abuse and address societal ills. Despite these anxieties, teenagers of the 80s harbored their own unique dreams and aspirations. Career paths seemed more defined, with popular dreams including becoming a rock star, a movie actor, or a successful entrepreneur. While the intense pressure for college admission seen today was less prevalent, there was still a strong push towards higher education and finding one's own path. The future, while uncertain, was approached with a mixture of optimism and pragmatism. Here's the hidden truth. Behind the seemingly carefree facade of 80s pop culture, teenagers of that era confronted very real societal issues and fears, no less significant than those faced by any other generation. However, they learned to cope without the immediate assistance of the internet or social media. This fostered a different kind of self, pushing them to seek solutions and support within their immediate communities and peer groups. They developed resilience and autonomy by navigating their world through direct experience and human connection, demonstrating a quiet strength that often goes unnoticed amidst the vibrant nostalgia of the decade. Our journey through the real lives of American teenagers in the 1980s has revealed a decade far richer and more complex than its pop culture stereotypes might suggest. We've explored their daily routines at school, the vibrant entertainment that defined their leisure, and the very real pressures and dreams that shaped their path forward. The 1980s, we've seen, wasn't merely an era of bright music and bold fashion. It was a formative period that shaped an entire generation, imbuing them with unique experiences and distinct ways of interacting with the world, preparing them for the future. Their coming-of-age story is a testament to resilience, creativity, and the enduring human need for connection, even without the digital tools we now take for granted. The legacy of the 80s generation is profound. The experiences they shared, the challenges they faced, the music they loved, the friendships they forged have undeniably molded the adults they are today, influencing contemporary society in myriad ways. They navigated a world on the cusp of a technological revolution, learning to be self-sufficient and to find community in tangible, physical spaces. So, there you have it. The real life of an American teenager in the 1980s, an era of firsts, of defining challenges, and of simple joys that no technology could ever truly replace. Were you an 80s teenager? Share your most memorable experience in the comments below.